Holy camole. Yo, this co-main event, people. Bonkers, right? Like, I think we're watching these fights and we have an incredible, back and forth. And you're just like, well, that's the fight of the night, right? And then we get another, and this co-main. Jeez. I mean, there was a lot on the table with Chris Duncan and Mateusz Rębecki, right? Because they both train at American Top Team. Now, I think Duncan was there first, right? And they train with different people. They don't train together. So there's not that cross-tamination. I think, especially when you consider how big American Top Team is, right? It's like, if you're not training with someone, you know what I mean? Fighting each other is fine, right? It's those smaller teams where it gets weird. Like Sarah Longo, right? Now, if Sterling had fought Marab, that would have been weird because they train together. It's a small, close-knit team. But American Top Team is like one of those mega teams, you know what I mean? Like a double-decker bus, right? There's so many people that you're going to find that you have top contenders from a division there. And as I said, if you don't train together, that's fine. And I think with that place as well, you get to a point where you probably have to go, right, I can't train with these people because we will most likely fight at some point, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I mean, they're both really good fighters. They're both durable as fuck, They were both riding good wins. Duncan, you know what I mean? He'd got, I think, like back-to-back rear naked. I was like, what's that called again? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're both doing their thing. So you were just, you look at this fight and you're just like, this is going to be good. This is gonna be good. And yo, guess what, people? This was good. This was a great bloody fight. Guillotines. Why I did? What? I was thinking guillotine in my head, but I'm just like, no, it's the other one, right? No, yes, Duncan had back-to-back gillies. And. Yeah, so going into this, I was just like, oh man, it's close. I was a little back and forth at the start, and to be honest, when I'm watching the fight, I was thinking I'd gone Rębecki, I'd gone Duncan, right? At the end of the day, when I look, I'm like, oh yeah, and I think one of the big things here was, right, it's because Rębecki had a 66-inch reach. Duncan 71.5, right? 5.5-inch difference. And that was very telling. That was very telling because Duncan was able to land some really good shots. Really good shots. It's funny, like, Duncan went down in the first, and I think that might have been headbutt rather than a hook. Can't quite remember, but it was flash. He was up straight away. But other than that, it was Duncan who was kind of getting the better a lot of the times with the exchanges. He landed a few stepping elbows, a few really good stepping elbows, right? And halfway through the first round, Rębecki's eye was just blooded up. Right? It was just blooded up. And man, another big thing from this night, right? So many fighters, crazy heart, right? They're taking shots and coming forward, and Rębecki never backed down. You know what I mean? Never backed down. This was a war. This really was a war. I do think that I can't think of which judge gave it, but we did have a 30-27, right? Two judges had it 29-28 and one judge had it 30-27, and I do think the 30-27 was fair. I think it was fair, but it wasn't it's not, and that's the problem with the scoring, because you get a 30-27 and you think, oh, one fighter completely, you know what I mean, cruise controlled. No. This was tight like a motherfucker. This was close, but Duncan always seemed to have the edge. Really good scrambles to stop the takedowns, and just, man, he landed some great knees. Oh boy, he landed some great knees. There was some points, I believe it was towards the end of the second and the third round, where Duncan had hit Rębecki to the body, and Rębecki kind of backed off, and I'm thinking, I think that hurt him, right? But Duncan kind of didn't follow up to the body and is back to the head, which he was landing, you know what I mean? So, you know, but there were moments where you just think, oh, maybe more to the body could end this, because I think with Rębecki, he's so fucking durable. You gotta go to the body, right? That's the only thing and way to kind of close it off. I didn't think we were getting a third round, to be honest with you people. I thought this was getting stopped, right? I'm surprised that you know what I mean? I was so surprised that, yeah, they were like, yeah, come out for a third, because it looked like Rębecki's eye was completely sharp. You know what I mean? But boy, it didn't show, right? It didn't show in that third round that Rębecki only had one eye, because he was throwing and coming forward. This was a war. This was a war. This was fun. Chris Duncan pulled a great win. And I think it did kind of show as well, like, because when they were, you know, talking before the fight, and they're talking about the fact that they both train at American Top Team. Like, Duncan had said that he trained with the tougher opposition, right? The higher quality training partners opposition. Like, you know what I mean? And I think that showed in the fight, right? Because it was Duncan's movement. It's his shot selection. Those are the things that really set this apart. His fight IQ in there. So this was a really, really good win for Chris Duncan. And boy, oh boy, it was a tremendous way to lead us into our main event of the evening, right?